Welcome. This is Annuity News Now. The summer issue of Advantage Compendium highlights the reasons why index annuities are doing very well in these difficult economic times. My guest from Advantage Compendium is Jack Marrion. Jack, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
These difficult times economically, obviously the equity markets themselves are up and down. Talk about how that affects how index annuities are perceived.
Well, the problems with the equity markets, of course, are easily seen just by the volatility witnessed in the last 30 days. And that tends to scare people. The index annuity story is one with no downside volatility below zero and only upside volatility, which seems to be a little better story. So it goes back to a safety issue when it comes to the stock markets.
You know, and you also compare in this piece here how index products have, you know, compared to CDs and mutual funds, for example, over the last few years. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, there's really two elements of this. But the big part is they're very competitive on a relative basis to other savings vehicles. Mm-hmm. Now, what that means is, I mean, index annuity limitations right now, or you might earn 3, 4, maybe 5% interest, which is nothing to get excited about. But last week, bank rates said that the average one-year CD rate was 0.4%. Savings bond rates are 1.6%. 5-year CD rates are 1.5%. On a relative basis, the potential upside in index annuities has never been higher. So they're very strong from that point. This is kind of a scary statistic I came up with today. Show you an example. In the old days, you might have a bank CD paying 6%, and the index annuity would have a cap of 9%. The most you could earn in 1 year was 9%. And if you hold that even and see how long it would take the money to double, the 6% money would double in 12 years. The 9% money would double in 8. There's a 4-year difference. At a 3% cap, money doubles in 24 years. At a 0.4% CD rate, it takes 174 years for money to double. Yeah, any help is deeply appreciated.
Well, when people are living longer, that's still a little bit too long.
Yes.
And CD rates have really dropped precipitously in the last 5 years. I think you talk about just as early as 2006. You know, people were getting some outstanding rates, and now all of a sudden it's just really non-existent, and that probably is a good motivation for people to consider other options.
I think so. The typical CD rate is down 80% from where it was 5 years ago. That's mind-boggling.
So you're sitting here looking at index products all day long. What do you see in the immediate future?
It's going to be difficult times for everyone. I don't see caps going back up until bond rates go up, and I don't know when that's going to be. I do know from an historic point of view that these still work at the current rate. I mean, if this continues for the intermediate future, they're still competitive. If you go back and compare what you might make on an index annuity versus what you could make on a 5-year CD, the index annuities still win. It's not a great story, but it's a better story.
Right. And you always have that, the nice thing that you get with both products really is the protection of one's principal. Can you comment anything that you see in the regulatory environment in the near future you could talk about?
It's been very, very calm. It appears that the regulators aren't as worried about safe protection of principal vehicles. They're not looking at these like they were.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Once again, it's Jack Marrion with Advantage Compendium. Jack, a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm Scott Drake. You're watching Annuity News Now.